Welcome back. I promised myself I'm not going to cry, and that's just it. I hope I can stick to my word this time. The next day, they didn't allow me to go to school. My mom and dad just pampered me throughout the day. Gifts were coming in one after another. And honestly, I became a little bit happy. That night, I didn't sleep at all because I was afraid they might come into my room again, but they didn't. Then, the next day, they came again. It got to a point, my dad was no longer going easy on me. He became like an animal, and I honestly didn't know what to do anymore. My mom would just sit there and watch. She never for once protected me, and I felt completely helpless. The most painful part was that afterwards they would wake me in the devotion as if nothing had happened. It got to the point where the abuse became something I could almost predict. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Sundays they didn't come into my room. I hated knowing that my life had been reduced to a schedule like that. They showered me with plenty gifts, but inside, I was already mentally and emotionally damaged. I had gone through things no child should have to experience, and somehow, I started looking much older than my age. The gifts could never make up for what was happening to me. When I was 12, I became seriously ill. I was always feeling sick in the mornings and throwing up. Even while I was going through all of that, the abuse continued at night. When the sickness continued, they eventually took me to the hospital. That was when the doctor told us that I was expecting a baby. My father wanted the situation handled in a different way, but my mother refused. I was only 12, confused, frightened, and completely overwhelmed by everything that was happening. I didn't understand how my life had reached that point. In the end, what they both wanted didn't matter. The doctor recommended that I be kept under medical care and that we take the safest option for my well-being. Ending it could seriously affect my ability to have children in the future. I was still very young and I didn't fully understand what any of it meant. I cried day and night. My mates were in school, busy studying and living their normal lives. But I was at home, trapped in a situation I never asked for, taking care of my parents and dealing with things no child should have to face. As the days went by, things became more frequent and there was no longer any routine. I was made to endure things I was far too young to understand or handle. I was told it was for my own good, but deep down I knew it was wrong. On those additional days, he would come into my room by himself. My mom was no longer there with him. I was left alone with a situation that made me feel scared and helpless. I was practically locked inside the house. I wasn't allowed to go out, and I stopped going to church. Anytime I looked at my sister, she didn't seem to understand what I was going through, and that made me feel even more alone. Was my sister also going through what I was going through? Because whenever I looked at her, she didn't look like someone who was suffering the way I was. I just felt maybe she was stronger than me. Because I was told that the nights when they didn't come to my room, they actually went to my sister's room instead. My parents said the reason for all these exercises was so that we would be prepared for our future husbands. Can you imagine? What kind of nonsense talk is that? Delivery day finally came, and honestly, it was the worst day and at the same time the most beautiful day of my life. I was so little, yet somehow this tiny human being came out of me. When I held my baby in my arms, somehow all the pain I had been feeling disappeared. But I didn't know that. At that moment, my pain was only about to become even greater. 6 months after my delivery, my dad came into my room and asked me a very strange question. He asked me if I was still enjoying what he had been doing with me. I looked at him with so much disgust, but he didn't even seem to mind. You won't believe what this man asked me. He actually suggested that we try something sexual that made me feel extremely uncomfortable. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Something so disgusting. And I knew I had to make a decision. A very difficult, very strong decision. I held my baby so close to my heart. I was filled with so much anger and hatred. I wanted to make him pay for everything. But I knew I couldn't make any decision that would put me in prison and leave my son to suffer in this wicked world. Well, I have things to do, and you have things to do too. I'll see you guys in my next episode.